10 years ago, Will Sawyer leads an FBI hostage rescue team. The team blow up the wall of a house and they go inside, where they find the hostage taker holding on to his son. The hostage taker lets his child go, then presses the button to detonate a suicide bomb. Will is badly injured in the subsequent explosion. Part of his left leg below the knee has to be amputated. In the present, Will, who is now wearing a false leg following the amputation, his wife Sarah, and his twin children Henry and Georgia, live in an apartment inside the Pearl, the world's tallest skyscraper, located in Hong Kong. Zhao Longji is the business entrepreneur behind the construction of the 225-floor building. Sarah asks Will to fix her phone. Will just turns the phone off and on again. Sarah is taking the children off to see the pandas being fed overnight after everyone else has gone home, after Ben gave them tickets to see it. Will rides with Ben up the elevator for a meeting with Zhao, security director Ajani Okiki, and insurance underwriter Mr. Pierce. Zhao hired Will to assess the safety and security systems on a recommendation from Ben. Will reports to the meeting that the computerized fire and security systems have passed his tests, though he needs to inspect the security at the off-site facility. Zhao gives Will a tablet. Only Will's face can access it. Zhao takes Will to a room where mirrors pop up from the floor, which give reflections at different angles. A reflection of Zhao tells Will, "I'm over there." Will rides on a boat with Ben. When they reach their destination, an agile, acrobatic criminal steals Will's bag. He fires shots up in the air to scare the people around him. In the sub-basement of the Pearl, a maintenance engineer sees a crack in the wall appearing. The wall breaks off to reveal a hole. Hands reach out and strangle this person to death. The killer removes a gas mask. It's Kors Botha. Ben is bandaging Will's wound. Will put Zhao's tablet in his jacket before they left. Sarah speaks to Will on the phone. They didn't get to see the pandas. Kors and his men sprinkle powder containing a water-reactive chemical over the 96th floor inside the Pearl. Kors sets off the smoke alarm. When the sprinklers come on, the powder flares up and a fire starts. Will looks out the window and sees a bright orange light coming from the Pearl. People come with machine guns and fire at Will. Will gets out the window and climbs down a ladder. He has to fall the rest of the way. Shaw, one of Kors's associates, appears and zaps Will with an electric stun gun. She scans Will's face into the tablet. Police officers arrive and shoot the criminals surrounding Will. The criminal who stole Will's bag is killed in the shootout. Shaw and the goons enter the off-site facility and kill the staff already there. With access to the tablet, they disable the anti-fire measures. The sprinklers stop working. The goon gives the building a $6.5 billion chimney. The air vents open. 2 security men come out of the elevator to take Sarah and the children up to the top floor. Fire is shooting up the elevator shaft. The security man shouts, "No. Get back." Fire explodes out of the elevator. Inspector Wu leads a manhunt for Will Sawyer, with police believing that he disabled the anti-fire measures. The goon says to Shaw, "You have full systems control from the tablet. There's no facial recognition needed. All other access points to the Pearl mainframe have been encrypted. The entire building now, it's locked out. I used my own logarithmic base cipher to encrypt it, so I'm literally the only human on the planet Earth that can crack this. It's pretty smart, right?" Shaw shoots him. Ajani, working as Zhao's personal bodyguard, says, "If the fire continues to climb, it will superheat the air around the helipad, making liftoff impossible. Our departure window is closing. I hate to say it, but it is now or never." Urged on by Mr. Pierce, Zhao finally agrees to get the helicopter ready for evacuation. This isn't just a fire. It's a plot. Zhao knows Kors Botha is behind this. Kors does not want Zhao dead, at least not yet. He wants this flash drive. After evading the police, Will climbs up the side of a crane. He turns the crane round so it faces the building. When the crane reaches its maximum extension, Will swings the hook so it crashes through a window of the building. Will is running along the top of the crane. He jumps, grabs hold of the building and gets inside. The helicopter is at the helipad, but Ajani discovers that its pilot is an imposter. Mr. Pierce reveals to Zhao that he is also an agent of Kors. Zhao asks why doesn't Kors just shoot him and take the drive. Kors responds, "You know I can't do that. The men I work for will kill me if I don't get it back for them. You should have paid me and been done with it. But no, clever boys like you always think you can be clever. So how's this for clever? I'm going to take you in your drive and your helicopter. And I'm going to make you watch as your building burns to ash, and there's nothing you can do about it." Ajani gets up and shoots the pilot. The dead pilot falls against the controls, causing the helicopter to crash further into the building. Zhao gets up and runs down a flight of stairs. Kors is shooting his machine gun at him. Zhao runs into the penthouse and locks its doors down before Kors can get to him. Shaw tells Kors she can't open the penthouse doors with the tablet. "Wait, it looks like Will Sawyer's in the building. And I've got a movement alert. It's his family." Mr. Pierce says, "You're not going to get in using force. You need someone who knows the system. Sawyer, if anyone can get in, it's him." He's in the building. Just need to find him. Coors answers, we don't need to find him. We know what he wants. Sarah and the children are crossing the bridge. Mr. Pierce appears, pulls out a gun and grabs Sarah. Sarah tells the children to do what he says. Sarah pulls a pair of scissors out of her pocket, then stabs the scissors into Pierce's leg and fights with him until he's on the floor. A metal structure falls and smashes the bridge. Burning debris falls, separating Henry and Georgia. Henry tells Georgia to go up to the waterfall. Pierce is back up. He says, I'm not supposed to kill you, but I think your kids will be enough. Will appears and pushes Pierce off the edge of the bridge. A wooden plank is placed across the gap where the bridge had been. Sarah has to walk across to get Henry while Will holds the bridge steady. Henry is riding on Sarah's back. Sarah has to jump to Will at the last second, before the plank falls down the gap. There is an elevator that operates on electromagnetic induction. When there's a fire, it's held in place by a fail-safe brake. Will cuts the cable. The elevator falls. The magnets kick back on when it passes the fire line. Sarah pulls the handle to engage the braking system. Sarah and Henry escape from the building and meet Inspector Wu. Two men appear before Georgia saying, it's okay. We're the good guys. Georgia only listens to her father. She runs off into the waterfall. The two men follow her. Will fights with these two men before meeting Coors Botha. The people are outside the penthouse doors. Will says the only way the doors open is from the inside, or if the fire alarm on the penthouse level triggers it, but this can't happen because Coors took the entire system offline. Coors says, every man has a weakness. It's easy to find. Once you know what he loves, you have it. Zhao loves this building. Will's weakness is his family. Anything can be done with the proper motivation. Coors says he will throw Georgia off the roof if Will does not bring to him what Zhao is holding behind these doors. They take Georgia with them, leaving Will on the floor. Sarah describes to Wu the man she saw in the Pearl. The police bring up images of people. Sarah recognizes an image of Coors Botha as the man she saw. Why would Coors trap himself in the fire? Why would he cut off his only way out? One of Botha's men had a container with the word Surin on it. The police look up Surin and find out that it's a parachute. Sarah concludes that it is likely that they will jump out of the building and land nearby. The subroutine panels that control the doors are behind the turbines. Will smashes open a window, climbs along the side of the building and abseils to the turbines. He gets inside the turbines and cuts a wire. The doors open. Will climbs back up to the building and uses his false leg to stop the doors closing again. Once inside the penthouse, Zhao puts a gun to the back of Will's head. Zhao explains, his name's Coors Botha. He handles extortion for 3 powerful crime syndicates. When I began construction on the Pearl, Botha came to me. He said if I didn't pay him, he'll cripple my labor force and keep me from ever completing this place. Zhao did pay him, but what he didn't know was that I hid tracking software inside my wire transfer. As Botha laundered my payments through their offshore accounts, I was able to trace every transaction, giving me their bank accounts, their names, their identities. This was my insurance policy. Botha would never be able to extort money from me again. But when the syndicates found out they were compromised, they threatened to destroy Botha if he didn't clean up his mess. If he kills me, the copies of Maid will be sent to the authorities. Will says, we're going to give Botha what he came here for. Zhao replies, as soon as he has the drive, he'll kill us both. Maybe, answers Will, but he has my daughter. And her life is what matters to me, not mine. Will and Zhao appear, with Zhao's hands bound with duct tape. Zhao frees his hands from the duct tape, takes the drive and points his gun at Will. I can't let you do this. He orders Will to turn around. I want a parachute. You need me alive. Coors orders one of his men to give him his parachute. Drop it there. Here's what you want, says Zhao. Go get it. He tosses the flash drive across the room. Will shouts at Georgia to run. Zhao shoots at the criminals. The mirrors pop up. The criminals have a hard time distinguishing the real people from the reflected images. They end up shooting the glass in the mirrors. Zhao shoots a goon. Will fights another goon, throwing him to the floor. Will fights a goon, hitting him against a mirror. The other goon grabs Will and they are both lying down on the floor. Will opens the goon's parachute, dragging them across the floor. Will grabs onto a metal rod. The goon's parachute pulls him off the roof. Will finds the flash drive. A thug is shot by Zhao before he can kill Will. Sarah sees Shaw about to shoot a police officer. She opens the car door, slamming it into Shaw. A police officer appears pointing a gun at Shaw. Sarah kicks Shaw, knocking her out. She picks up the tablet Shaw left on the seat. Remembering how Will had fixed her phone earlier, Sarah uses the tablet she recovered from Shaw to switch the building's control system off, and then on again. As it restarts, the anti-fire measures come back online. The sprinklers start working again and the fire is extinguished. A helicopter arrives to bring Will, Georgia and Zhao down to safety. Will gives Zhao his flash drive, then the Sawyer family happily reunite, and Wu has a chance to finally meet and greet Will, acknowledging that he was not responsible for the fire in the Pearl. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to watch more videos like this.